Greetings and welcome to One Spiritual Love, Church, Spirituality in a Modern World, presented by Unispiritual Muse, LLC. Now, today's sermon session will be 3 subject matters: space, mass, and mass matter, and life after cancer, and teeth. Now remember, make sure you have your utensils to take notes so you can comprehend later what is told to you. Rule of thumb: when you're in a college class and you walk out, the class is over, well, you got 15 minutes. You go over your notes, totally make sure you know what the instructions were about, so later when you reference, you'll know what was going on, alright? And the key is that when I say grow up, it simply means emotional maturity. Alright? Now, it's time to grow up. And this, how do you do this? You learn the fundamental mechanics. Everything I've been teaching in my sermon sessions, for 40 years now, is basically Holy Scriptures and spirituality. There are 22 cultures around the world. Guess what? How many Holy Scriptures are there around the world? It's not just one pill fits all. I am teaching world Holy Scriptures. Why would I do this? Well, as they say, everyone that goes to college, you get out and you either work for yourself or someone else. And I'm doing both, and I've been doing this all of my life. Yeah, I started working at the age of 15. Now, with that said, you gain a lot of experience, you gain a lot of education. Smack the two together, what do you got? You got knowledge, alright? As I always say, do you have a brain? You say yes, I say, well then use it. Smack the two together, because a closed mind is a terrible thing to waste. Just like back in the day, there was a commercial in the 70s. And on the commercial, it showed eggs in a frying pan. And all that was said was, this is your brain on drugs. It's the same exact concept. Now, I find there are a lot of people that are called, I call the mood killer. Because they want everything dogma norm. Well, obviously, dogma norm is not working out. Hello, as I point to my head. It's not rocket science, it's logic. So science has to invent some concept and able to understand and comprehend and process in their human brain, not their human mind. Why is it some people do this and some people do that and blah, blah, blah. Those are called acronyms of ADHD, ADHD, blah, 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 blah. Why are the acronyms created? Because they have to put it psychosomatically in a compartment in the human brain to process into the human mind. Hello? Anyone home upstairs as I point to my head? Is there anyone home up there? It's logic. It is not rocket science. Now, with that said, get out of dogma norm. Quit leading your life with emotions and use your logic. Do you have a brain? You say yes, I say, well then use it. And then, here we go. Turning up the volume.
Space creates mass. Time creates matter. So it's not time, space, mass, matter. It is space, mass, and time matter.
Greetings. Cool thing about life is
change is inevitable. I can teach you how to not just survive, but how to live after cancer. It's really quite simple. When you learn the patterns of how to change your life, and I could teach you that. It's not as hard as you might think it is. It's absolutely a lot of fun when you're learning how to change to take care of yourself. Self-care creates self-love. Remember, there is life after cancer. I'm living it. They say, don't just talk the talk, but walk the walk. And I'm doing both. I will teach you how to do this. I'm pretty much a pro at it. Because remember, I studied, research, behavioral science for 40 years because I got a behavioral science anthropology degree back in 1998. Many, many moons ago. What do behavioral scientists do? They either work in a clinic or a hospital helping people with substance abuse. Well, lo and behold, if I have people in my personal life that have substance abuse, and then I go to my job and helping people with substance abuse, wouldn't that be an overcombobulation in my world? So no, that was not an option for me. Which then I became a metaphysician. That means an alternative doctor, and I could teach you how to overcome the adversities before, during, and after cancer. I could teach you this. Been there, done that. Behavioral science / anthropology, well, lo and behold, I wanted to become a primatologist. Who were my heroes? Diane Fossey and Jane Goodall. They studied the primates for years. They are professionals under Dr. Leakey. I went and worked at a primate caretaking facility. I became a primate caretaker. So you're learning the behavioral patterns of a primate, a different species than the human being species. So when you put the two together, it creates a very rich format of predictability from two different species. And then as a landscaper of over 30 years, professional landscaping, at 3 different states, and about 15 different positions. I worked HVAC, carpenter, electrician. I've done it all. So I can bring to you the adversities of what you shall conquer, because I've been there, done that. And that's how I can show you how to create your self-worth, your self-respect, your self-care into self-love. It is hard in the beginning, but after a while, it gets easier and easier, because then you know what path you need, what avenue you need. Self-respect, self-worth, creates self-care, that creates self-love. Pretty easy peasy there, folks. Stop thinking so much and start learning to be who it is you were meant to be. And life is love. Love is life. Blessings from Reverend Dr. Juanita Lewis, D.Div, Ph.D. And thank you for your support. Greetings and welcome to 1spiricallove, Spirituality in a Modern World, presented by Unispiritual Muse, LLC. Here's a little fun fact. Now, when you go through cancer treatments, you get to go to the cancer hospital for 5 years after the cancer's gone. So they always recommend go to the dentist every 4 months. It's redundantly insane. I don't know why, but they seem to think it's important, all this dental care. And then they make you take fluoride, and you get a, what do you call it? Like a mouth guard or whatever. It's like all this crap. What's wrong with you people? To me, everyone seems to want to make a mountain out of a molehill, for Pete's sake. So that I don't have to listen to their blah, blah, hot air. If I'm going every 6 months, what is the problem? So what I do is that it's a fun fact because it's logic. It's not rocket science. After every meal, I floss. If I'm eating 6 to 8 times a day, I floss. A snack is a meal. You got a handful of sunflower seeds, guess what? Your teeth don't know what size that meal is. It calls it food. Bottom line. So you got to get the food out of between the teeth. So you brush twice a day, in the morning and at night. You floss after every meal. And you mouthwash twice a day. Now, you can get those like I do. You go to Walmart, get that little plastic travel size, and then you just put your mouthwash in there, just like the hand lotion. You gotta have, skin is very irritated by the elements. Your hands need to have lotion constantly the older you get. So that's why I have a little deal, travel size, for lotion for my hand. And then I got a little travel size deal for my mouth. Now, I went to the dentist, and she said, the lady that does the hygiene, cleans your teeth and all that. I told her what I do, and she goes, I wish that everyone had as best dental hygiene as you do. I'm like, well, it's not rocket science, but yeah. So I do this regimen constantly, simply because I don't like pain. Now, think about it. This is logic, not rocket science. What's your toothbrush made of? Nylon. What's nylon? Plastic. Plastic is rubbing against your gums. Guess what? Your gums don't like plastic. It's actually very forbidden for the human body to accept plastic as a normal way of life. So what do? I get a new toothbrush every month, for Pete's sake. For Pete's sake. Dude, it's logic, not rocket science. It's called dental hygiene. Now, if your gums are hurting, guess what? Go get a new toothbrush. My goodness. And then, of course, in my morning coffee, I don't put water. What's wrong with you people? I put cold brewed hibiscus flower tea. Yeah. You got your dried hibiscus flowers, put a handful in a gallon of water, pop it in the fridge, voila. Hibiscus flowered tea. Hello, it stops gums from receding. Yeah, a little fun fact of taking care of dental hygiene. Teeth are extremely important for one, mental health, because if you have no teeth, you can't chew, and then you're whining because you can't eat anything that's chewable, crunchy, meat, or whatever. Why would you set up that habit for your life? Seriously. Take care of your teeth, take care of your gums, because guess what? It's all connected to the nerves. Nerves are connected into your head and your body. And so then you're going to get aches and pains everywhere because you didn't take the time to take care of your teeth. Is it really that hard? No, of course not. I carry in my truck, I can keep it in my truck, the 100-pack of little dental floss. So I carry those I carry my hand lotion, and I carry the mouthwash. I brush in the morning, and I brush at night. These are fun-filled bags. After every meal, make sure you floss. Alright? And guess what? I'm a doctor, I'm a scientist, and I'm a mother. And I am the woman. And I'm telling you, take care of your teeth for Pete's sake. You really want to dish out a bunch of money and pay for doctors' prescriptions and hospitals because you didn't take the time to take care of your teeth? Come on, really? Gee whiz. It's called emotional maturity. Take care of yourself. Behave yourself. And have a wonderful day. And life is love. Love is life. Blessings from Reverend Dr. Juanita Lewis, D.Div, Ph.D. And thank you for your support.
And today I am working on 3 different computers because you got your Windows 7, you got your Windows 10, you got your Windows 11, and everything you do, then you just save it on a flash drive. So everything I do in life for over 30 years, I've scanned all those papers, whether medical, military, taxes, everything. So my whole life is on flash drives. We got 1 terabytes, 2 terabytes, and so on and so forth. You don't put too much on one, because if that dies, guess what? You got to take the time to go get it repaired. Well, guess what? Best thing to do is have 1 terabyte. You'll have a few, but you put everything on there. You put your music on there, you put your movies on there, you put your life on there. So that wherever you go, you just take your flash drive, thumb drive, whatever, and you pop it in the computer, and voila, life begins. And that is what I do. And I've been planning my business for, 40 years, okay? So that when I retire, I will be in my 3rd career as a world traveling metaphysician. Now, what do people do? They go to college, and when they get out, they either work for themselves or someone else. And I'm doing both. And that's why I have professional landscaping of over 30 years. I worked in accounting for 13 years, so my 3rd career will be a world traveling metaphysician. What do people do when they get a higher education? I have, in order to reach my goal, 25 years in college, 16 certificates and diplomas, 6 college degrees, 2 doctorate degrees, and I'm working on my 3rd doctorate degree, and yes, that's including I took 25 years to get my Ph.D. Why? Because I was married and had kids. I have a life. Work full-time, college part-time. I have a life. I have things to do, things to accomplish, because I will do more in 1 lifetime than most people do in 10 lifetimes. Because this is what I am meant to do. This I knew from the day I was born. I brought the wisdom from the past lives into this life. That's why they call it deja vu. And that's why they call it knowledge, not intellect. That's a whole nother ballgame. And if you ever listen to my podcast on Spotify, you would know this already. Why did I start Spotify? Because my biggest fear in the world was public speaking. How was I going to conquer that? Well, I'm laying in bed because I'm in disability while I'm going through radiation and chemo treatments, bored out of my ever-loving mind. What am I going to do with myself? I started a podcast. I didn't even really speak till the age of 50. Then I started doing a visual on YouTube so people could see me. I really don't like it for many, many reasons. I have 1 million paparazzi. I'm so not into it. I've had 20 marriage proposals. Not into it. And I am not a piece of meat. I'm not here for someone's entertainment. That's not what I do. I'm here to teach everyone. Heart smiles and belly laughs. They say laughter is the best medicine. And what does that mean? That if your heart is smiling, less stress, less heart attack, less death. That's why it's called paranoia kills. And what do doctors and professors, anyone of higher education, do when they get out of college? They continue their education. They write books, they make presentations, whether in person or online or whatever. And that's what I do. You have to have your hypothesis and theories, and then you create your own, so that you are creating your own theories as a professional. And that is what I do each and every day, in each and every moment. Now, I walk the walk, I talk the talk, the whole shebang, and that's what life's about. So this I knew starting 20-some years old. I knew what I wanted to do. I just had to find that path of what it was that I wanted to do. That's why I wanted a government job. I got it. Why get a government job? So I could do the things that I needed and wanted to do. I wanted to become a gang more. I got it. Why? Because every woman needs strength training. That's why I'm a professional landscaper, over 30 years in heavy equipment. Because you've got 4 bodies of being in the 4 quadrants of personality: mind, body, emotion, spirit. What nutrition in holistic nutrition? WHOLESTIC, holistic nutrition. What nutrition do you put in your mind? What nutrition do you put in your body? What nutrition do you put in your emotion? And what nutrition do you put in your spirit? This is what I teach. I teach the 4 quadrants in personality through holistic nutrition in the 4 bodies of being. It's not rocket science, it's logic. Now, how do I do this? Well, this is what I'm doing as a professional doctor, a professional reverend, yes, ordained reverend of divine energy, which is the same thing as all people of the cloth go to college, and priest, preacher, reverend, etc., etc. They go to college to then what? Spiritual teach, spiritual counselor, spiritual healing. It's not rocket science, it's logic. Yes, this is why I have 25 years in college, because there were certain acronyms that I needed to accomplish in order to create the fundamental mechanics of how to create teaching, counseling, and healing another species. Example, human species. Example, tree, plant species. Example, you see what I'm saying? So there are so many species around the world that need TLC. And as we know, recently there was a white buffalo born. Now, when you know the prophecy, it's the same exact thing. Anyone that predicts the future is what a prophecy is. And if you listen to the YouTube, it'll show 3,000 years ago. Now, what does this mean? This means it is time to wake up and quit leading life with your emotions and lead life with logic. Now, in Freudian theory, you have Sigmund Freud, psychologist, id, ego, superego, Freudian theory. What is the superego? That is your high horse. Get off the high horse and actually become human and start leading your life with logic, not emotion. Because your emotion is controlling your world, and that's why the world is becoming a havoc. That's why the buffalo is here, to remind humans to change. You are not the only species on life, and you will be the demise of your own species if you don't start emotional maturity of behaving yourself. Everyone lives in the super ego, But it depends upon who are you hurting or helping. Are you hurting or helping someone else, or hurting or helping yourself? Pay attention to what you are doing in the 4 quadrants in personality. What are you creating? Because if you think that you are creating and you're going to control another species, you're going to control everything that life has been provided for you on Earth, Mother Earth, that is now sick and dying, you got another thing coming. She is sad. She is needing help. So get off your high horse and pay attention to what's going on. As I mentioned, plastic, your skin does not like. Well, guess what? Your internal plastic does not like internal skin. Whoever thought to create plastic, you just created a havoc in people's world. Pay attention to what you're creating as to how many generations will come within the future of how it is havoc, a bunch of muck, which is a nice word for the F-bomb. Pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to the world that you're creating. And get off your high horse. Now, I can teach you how to do this. Because perception is perceiving one's own truth. Perception is how you see things. That is, guess what? Wishful thinking utopia. Perception is perceiving. You're perceiving only tunnel vision of what you think life is because you're an introvert or an extrovert. Perception of perceiving one's own truth. That is the truth that you're creating, which is a very minuscule scale of all species on existence. So quit creating havoc of muck for yourself and everyone else, because then you spend your time, money, and energy on doctors' prescriptions and hospitals. I don't know about you, but I like keeping my dollars and my pennies in my own pocket and not paying for somebody else's car and home. Pay attention to what you're doing. This is why I said I scan all of my life onto flash drives. Then, if I need to go back and look, I can. This is what was happening because you're alphabetizing. Alpha and numeric. What is going on that day? You are documenting. Now, back in the day, only girls kept journals. But now when you have dreams, you have a dream journal. So everything that you do in life, you keep a journal. That's why my journal is my flash drives. Yeah, unfortunately, whoever invented electronics, I would love to shoot them. Because back in the 80s, there was a big computer. Because back then, in those days, computers took up a whole room. Okay? Now they've shrunk. And as all things do, just like toys for children, the older they get, the bigger the toys. And they cost more the smaller they get. Well, you're just paying more pennies out of your own pocket. No such thing as retirement. And then you get to live on very limited budget because you were busy spending. Spending on your wants and not your needs. You're all funny. I could teach you how to budget your time, money, and energy. That's what I do. Now, to be later this year in 2024, I will be teaching these classes and workshops and a few other acronyms. You know, acronyms are the short version of something, just like a stenographer in a court of law. Acronyms are the short abbreviations behind a noun. Yeah, if you don't know, go back to school. And when it's all said and done with all the workshops and classes I will be teaching, that was part of the project of what I was creating. I'm creating my own school. Yeah, I've been planning it out for 40 years. And I have 6 more years to go. And when you graduate from my school, then you will then receive a degree. I mean, this is the way it is. You have to know what you want. Remember, 1 + 2 = 3. 1, knowing what you want. 2 is path travel. 3 is the end result. You always get what you want, but not how you want it, because you weren't specific in what you wanted. It's the same exact thing. You can do alpha or numeric to create what it is that you desire to create in life. Everyone knows 1 and 3, what you want. 3 is the end result. What is the path traveled? The path traveled is the particles. Particles are the details. That's why the details are numbers in a quadratic equation. So I'm teaching quadratics in metaphysics through spirituality. It is an acronym for trilogy in 3D, third dimension. It's really simple. When you've been doing it, hello, I'm 61 all my life, it's pretty easy. So I'm bringing it down in the classes, in the workshops. Right now, these are just little tidbits, which is what they do when they go to promote a movie for like 2 years. Guess what, folks? This is coming up in 2 years. The summer of blah, blah, blah. All right? That's what you're learning when you turn into my podcast and my YouTube and Pinterest and my website and all the other little acronyms called social media. That's what I do. I can show you what life you were meant to live and create the world that you were meant to create in order to find who it was that you were meant to become. That's all 3. It's trilogy, baby. And life is love. Love is life. Blessings from Reverend Dr. Juanita Lewis, D.Div, Ph.D. You like my content? Please like, share, and subscribe. Website, 1spiricallove.com. 1spiricallove.com. And have a splendid day.